Okay, so our project deals with modeling tipping behavior in urban transportation, specifically the New York City taxi cabs. So the dataset that we used comes from the NYC TLC Commission, which is the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission. So the aim of this project is to build a comprehensive model to analyze tipping behavior in urban transportation and using variables that have been used in previous research papers in the same area. And our main aim was to basically pick out a certain set of variables from them in order to say that these are the top predictors for tipping behavior in an average taxi ride in New York City. So we started with exploratory data analysis and we drew these graphs to assess the relationship between each of the predictors and the response. The response is basically the ratio of the tip to the fare amount, which gives us the tip percentage for that ride. So looking at the frequency plot over here, we can see that most of the tip amounts range between somewhere 0.25 and 0.35, with a few tip amounts between 0.0 and 0.5 as well. But if as the tip amount increases beyond 0.4, the frequency decreases as you would expect. You would find fewer people giving higher tips. The scatter plots between fare amount, trip duration, and additional charges, which is the charges that are added outside of fare and tips, including taxes and airport fees, etc. They show some sort of negative correlation with tip ratio, which says that which implies that the tip ratio decreases as those variables increase. And over here we have the box plots with average income of borrow and payment type, which show different distributions for each of the categories. And starting with the experiments, what we did was we ran a lasso feature selection and we found a few variables that were selected through this feature selection, that is payment type, fare amount, trip duration, additional charges, and average income of borrow. And we can see that the R2 score that we got with and without feature selection are both somewhere in the same region. So we can say that the remaining variables don't have much of a relationship with the predictor. And we also found the LR coefficients of each of the selected variables, so we can interpret the relationship of those variables with the response. And in conclusion, what we can say is that we found these top variables, which is type of payment, fare amount, trip duration, additional charges, and average income of bureau. And even though we weren't able to find a strong correlation between them, we were able to pick out some variables that can be interpreted to have some form of relationship with the tipping behavior. We were also able to achieve a better R2 score using random forest regression, but the issue over there was that the model seemed to overfit to the training data and did not perform equally as well on the test data.